Right then, after all the hectic build-up, the dust has finally settled. The better team on the day one, and that was Pakistan in a clinical performance versus India. And now that the emotions have tempered down, we can all sit back and analyze the game objectively. That's what we intend to do on our show today. You're watching Battle of Champions on India Today. On the show, we will be joined by two absolute legends of the game in Basim Akram and Harbhajan Singh. And Basim bhai, I will have to start with you since Pakistan were the winners. I saw you, doing a bit of a jig on Pakistan TV. I'm not too sure if you want to do it here, but tell us, what did that win mean for Pakistan itself?
That win was important in a way because every time there's Indo-Pak games, especially during the World Cups, we all hear ex-cricketers, everyone is saying that, Pakistan never won against India in the World Cup. So in my lifetime, I wanted to see that and I saw that and it was a convincing win. But that was yesterday, man. It's history. It's over now. I want Pakistan team to concentrate again for the next game. It's a long World Cup. It's a long haul. But coming back to their performance, it was just out of the world. The way they performed, it was clinical. It was skillful. They were calm, and everything worked for them. I suppose toss as well.
Right, Basim bhai makes a valid point there, saying that they now have to look forward to other games because the gap between the two games for Pakistan isn't quite long. India, on the other hand, would be relaxing. It's a long way off, that India versus New Zealand game. But let's look back at India's performance. From not bowling Bumrah enough in the first 10 overs to picking up a few players who've not been in terrific form. Now, here are a few things that Virat Kohli and his men got wrong on the night. And the question now is, can the men in blue address the issues plaguing them going forward?
Just a single. Are they going to get a second? Yeah, they're charging back for the second. This could be the moment. This is the moment.
India's crushing defeat against Pakistan highlighted several problems for the men in blue.
Opening partnership. Mohammad Rizwan, Babar Azam, calm, clinical.
Which they would need to address ahead of their must-win clash against New Zealand. For years now, India's top order has struggled against left-arm pacers. The likes of Johnson and Stark troubled India in 2015 ODI World Cup semi-final. Mohammad Amir killed the game in 2017 Champions Trophy final. Considering Trent Bolt will be streaming in next Sunday, India will have to find a way to keep him at bay. When Rishabh Pant got out in the 13th over, India needed a strong finish to post a challenging total. But the likes of Ravindra Jadeja and Hardik Pandya just couldn't get going.
Up in the air, a long way up in the air. There's two fielders, go for it. And it's the skipper, takes an easy...
With Virat Kohli too struggling to cut loose towards the end, India could barely make it past 150.
He wins his battle with Virat Kohli.
Shaheen Afridi, Pakistan's best bowler, had India on the ropes when he dismissed both the Indian openers in the first 3 overs.
They cannot play him. Both openers are gone.
India needed early wickets to stay in the game. But surprisingly, their best bet, Jasprit Bumrah, only got 1 over in the first 10.
But to close the over, 22 without loss.
When India's bowlers were struggling to contain the Pakistani openers, the men in blue needed a plan B. A 6th bowler. Hardik Pandya's inability to bowl, though, meant that India were without one. Against New Zealand, they can't afford a similar situation.
His ability to be able to take on all...
The Indian players perhaps had the best preparations for the T20 World Cup in the form of the IPL in the UAE. Yet India looked clueless about the conditions. Dew was a factor throughout the IPL, but clearly India did not have the answers despite being in the UAE for more than a month. If India are to stay in contention for a place in the semis, they can't afford to repeat these mistakes. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Plenty of things that India could have gotten right on the day, but it wasn't to be, and that resulted in a 10-wicket loss to Pakistan. Harbhajan Singh, Basim Akram still with us. Harbhajan, I'll come to you now. Before we dissect the game, get into the nitty-gritties of India's performance, let's take a look at the larger picture, the bigger picture. What does this sort of a loss, a comprehensive one at that, do to India's morale? Because up ahead will be some very crucial battles with the likes of New Zealand and Afghanistan waiting.
No, I don't think this will make any sort of big difference. Obviously, it would have been nice to get on to a better start. Of course, India winning in the first game would have been better. But since they couldn't do it, it's not the end of the road. They can always make a comeback. They are a very, very strong team. You know, I'm sure Virat and company, they will sit around and look where do they need to improve going forward, and they'll take the right sort of decision, and obviously they'll execute those plans on the field, and they'll come back stronger. This is what you know, they are known for.
Right, Wasim bhai, I'll come to you as well to analyze India's performance. But before that, let me get to Babar Azam and Rizwan, the outstanding partnership that they had. I know there are plenty of memes that were doing round in Pakistani social media about "Aapko ghabrana nahi hai." I mean, they took it very seriously. In a chase like that, many teams could have panicked. They didn't.
Absolutely. I mean, I played so many Indo-Pak games, and every time, 99%. Doesn't matter whatever you're chasing, it's a close game. You know, under stress, under tension, under pressure, players lose their cool, they lose wickets, they play rash shots. But Babar and Rizwan just took control from the minute go. Their shot selection were perfect, and they started off slowly, and then they built their innings, and they finished the game in 70th, 18th over.
Right, let me get back to Harbhajan. Harbhajan, you must have seen in-depth analysis a short while ago on the shortcomings from the Indian team. Now, going forward, as you said, that the morale you don't think is going to be affected, but could there be a few changes in the Indian team? How would you like to see the Indian team approach the next very crucial New Zealand encounter?
Well, I think I've been saying for a long time, you know, it's high time Ishan Kishan need to get a game, you know, with Rohit Sharma. He should open, and Virat Kohli bat at number 3 and KL bat at 4. And this is a very, very solid batting till 4. And of course, number 5, Rishabh Pant, and 6, if Hardik Pandya is available to play, because his shoulder, we don't know what is happening. If he's available, I would still play him because he's a top player and a top match winner for Team India. And if he's not fit, you know, then Surya Kumar Yadav obviously plays at 5, and Rishabh at 6, and Jadeja at 7, and number 8, Shardul Thakur. He can bat, he can bowl, he can field, and he's high on confidence. He's been performing really well. He's just won a world. He just won a championship for CSK, and he's been riding on a high confidence, and we should look to utilize his confidence. And of course, Bumrah, Varun Chakravarti, and Shami will be the next 3.
All right, fair play there to Harbhajan Singh, because he wasn't just talking about Shardul Thakur now that the Indian team has lost. He was mentioning that Shardul should have been played against the Pakistan team as well. Okay, Wasim, I'm going to come to you now. I want you for a moment, forget that you're a Pakistani fan or a Pakistani former cricketer. I would like you to put on that analytical hat and tell us, did India falter? We spoke about a few incidents, you know, Bumrah not bowling enough in the first 10 overs, some misses in the playing 11. Do you think tactically a few things India got wrong, or were Pakistan just the better team on the day?
Absolutely. I've been saying all along, sports bring people together. I mean, Kohli, MS Dhoni, these Pakistani boys are huge fans of theirs, and they would love to spend time with them. And for these cricketers from both sides, it's only a game. I mean, I was excited last night and I moved on. It's okay. End of the day, it's only a game. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. Whoever wins, congratulations. Whoever loses, bad luck. Better luck next time. And I suppose both sides, the media also adds fuel to the fire. Of course, that's their job as well in a way. Before the game, month before they start their programs, their campaigns, both sides. I'm not saying one country, but that's the beauty of Indo-Pakistan.
Okay, Wasim bhai, we'll come back to you. Plenty to analyze as far as that India-Pakistan encounter is concerned, but we'll now move a bit off the field. Now, it's not uncommon for players to be trolled after a loss on both sides of the border. Now, there's no harm in criticism so long as it remains fair and restricted on the ongoings on the field. But what Indian pacer Mohammed Shami has faced on social media in the last 24 hours is severe abuse. Worse still, it has religious connotations which are contrary to the very spirit of the sport. Thankfully, several former cricketers extended their support to Shami, calling out the comments targeting him.
Fast bowler Mohammed Shami was the target of social media abuse after India's humiliating loss against Pakistan. Shami's Instagram account was flooded with abuse, calling him a traitor and that he should be thrown out of the Indian team. While majority of the Indian players received the flack, what Shami was bombarded with was religious hate. The Indian speedster, however, did receive support from the Indian cricketers, at least on social media, with Virender Sehwag leading the way. Sehwag expressed his shock by the comments, calling out the online mob and reminding them that Mohammed Shami is a champion player. VVS Lakshman shared similar sentiments, urging fans and supporters to get behind Mohammed Shami and the Indian team. Even Harbhajan Singh was quick to respond to the trolls. He wrote on Twitter, "We love you, Mohammed Shami." Irfan Pathan, the former India all-rounder, also took to Twitter to defend Shami. Pathan pointed out that he also has been part of the games where India have lost to Pakistan, but never was he asked to leave the country. Shami has been a top performer for India for a number of years, and it was his sensational spell of 4 for 35 that helped India win against Pakistan at the 2015 World Cup. This is not the first time though that Shami has faced online abuse. In the past, he was trolled heavily for posting his wife's pictures on social media. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Now, on one side, we have these online trolls that have no idea what sport is all about. On the other hand, we have the players themselves. Let's take a look at a few visuals that we saw at that end of that India-Pakistan encounter. Now, these were players from both sides. That is MS Dhoni, you can see, posing with a few Pakistani cricketers who are huge fans of MS Dhoni. Before that, we also saw Virat Kohli talking here to Babar Azam. He was also congratulating Rizwan and Babar right after the encounter. Now, mind you, these are the same players that were not ready to give an inch when the competition was on. You saw Virat Kohli animated. He really wanted his team to fight, win, and that's exactly how he was playing. Similar for Pakistan. But once the game ended, Pakistan had subdued celebrations as well as then posed and spoke to a lot of Indian players. Just goes on to tell you what sport is all about. I'd like to get a comment in from Wasim Akram as well, who's with us. Wasim bhai, on one end, we have such high emotions with fans. Sometimes they end up crossing the boundary as well. But what did you make of these visuals that you saw of players having so much respect for each other?
I think, when you lose, a lot of criticism happens, and that's normal in our part of the world. They played their best playing 11. I would have played Varun Chakrabarti as well. But mind you, the toss was also crucial. The cricket lovers proper cricket lovers who understand the game, they'll understand the toss was crucial because second innings, the ball started getting wetter. And it was impossible for Bumrah or Bhuvneshwar or Shami to swing or seam the ball or even to grip the ball.
I think you didn't get my question there. I'll repeat that question once again. We were talking about those visuals that we just saw between India and Pakistani players, meeting each other and complimenting each other for the performance. It just shows you that sometimes sport transcends boundaries.
Absolutely. I've been saying all along, sports bring people together. I mean, Kohli, MS Dhoni, these Pakistani boys are huge fans of theirs. And they would love to spend time with them. And for these cricketers from both sides, it's only a game. I mean, I was excited last night and I moved on. It's okay. End of the day, it's only a game. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. Whoever wins, congratulations. Whoever loses, bad luck. Better luck next time. And I suppose both sides, the media also adds fuel to the fire. Of course, that's their job as well in a way. You know, before the game, month before they start their programs, their campaigns, both sides. I'm not saying one country, but that's the beauty of Indo-Pak cricket. You know, the whole country was up celebrating. You know, social media was full of praises for the boys in green. We did a show for a couple of hours. We moved as well because we were happy. But now I moved on. It's like I said, it's a long haul. It's a big tournament.
Right, very well said there, Basim bhai. But unfortunately, that's all the time that we have with you. Wasim Akram, Harbhajan Singh, thanks so much for joining us. And there is a lesson in there from the players, the way they reacted after that particular encounter. Pakistan having those subdued celebrations, Indian players then going after the game and speaking to their Pakistani counterparts. That's all that we have on our program this evening. But don't forget to tune in every evening at 6:30 p.m. where we'll talk about the T20 World Cup. Thanks so much for watching.